Hello there, I'm Matt Berry. You might recognise me from my work on shows like What We Do in the Shadows, Toast of London, and The IT Crowd. But the thing is, I don't know anything about computers. But the one thing I do know to do is listen to the Court Case podcast. I bloody love it, I do.
Hello and welcome back to the Court Case podcast. Happy New Year, it's 2022.
And hasn't it started off crazy? Danny Dyer's going to be leaving EastEnders, a UK supermarket is removing milk expiry dates, and Turkey has changed its name.
That's ridiculous. But other than those short stories, we've got some killer ones today. A relationship Instagram account has given us loads of content for Courting with Janes. We're going to be discussing this bloody Molly May situation and a lot more. It's all coming right after this.
It is James and T, by the way, guys.
Yeah, we didn't
even say that.
Introduce ourselves in this intro. We're a bit rusty, I think.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a siesta for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, we took a break for Christmas and we took a break for New Year's. But to be fair, there are podcasters that I've been talking to that aren't coming back until like February.
Yeah.
So we are coming back on it quite fast, I think.
Yeah. Talking in podcast terms, yeah.
Yeah, we want to get some more episodes in because our lives are changing at the moment and we don't know how regular things are going to be at the moment. So we want to get some episodes in and get you guys, enjoying our content again. And also, I've been thinking about this a lot over the break. I know people like collabs and stuff like that, but I really wanted to get back to some classic court case. I wanted us to debate some stuff. I wanted some ridiculous stories. I wanted us to get angry and passionate about something.
Do you know what's cool though? Like I was looking through, and season 1 we didn't do that many collabs, but most of them were just podcasters, like other people. And then this season 2, we did a lot more collabs, and they were with other like different types of people. They weren't all podcasters. Like some were like a little bit more like famous, I guess, and they have like cool background stories. So yeah, that was quite cool.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy the podcast where it's just me and you like chatting shit. Essentially.
Completely agree, and that's what we're going to try to do today because we've got an Instagram account.
So much has happened.
An Instagram account has reached out to us called What Shouldn't Do. Oh, We Shouldn't Do This Again is the Instagram account, and they're a popular Instagram account, and they post. I can't even speak at the moment.
God.
It's because I'm trying to read at the same time, guys. And they post. They get sent relationship advice stories, and they give people advice. They post them for people to comment on and discuss.
Yeah.
And they reached out to us and they've sent us a bunch of their like most popular confessionals and things that they've got, and a load here. And so we're going to get to Courting with James later.
Yeah, absolutely. Give them a follow on Instagram. It's We Shouldn't Do This Again. And they post some brilliant like message captures of like what people have said about their relationships going wrong and stuff like that. So it's really juicy.
Juicy stuff. And we like juicy stuff here.
It's all about the juices.
Yes, so... yeah. And, so, how was your Christmas? Now is your New Year's Eve?
Christmas? Do you know what? I actually wasn't feeling too festive this year. I don't know why. I knew a lot of people that weren't feeling it this year.
Not only was I not feeling festive, but... the couple days after Christmas, I didn't tell you
Sorry,
this.
You were just like, how was your Christmas tea? And then butts in.
Yeah, sorry. Just because I didn't tell you this because you had other stuff going on. But after Christmas, I was really gutted that Christmas was over because I hadn't felt festive at all.
Yeah.
And I in like the 26th, 27th of December, I was just like, this is shit. I was like, Christmas is finished. I didn't feel festive. I've got to wait another year and hope that I feel festive then.
Yeah. I unfortunately lost my granddad early December, so Christmas was quite a depressing time for all of us anyway.
Yeah, good point.
And then I had his funeral on New Year's Eve. So all round that time of year really wasn't ideal for me.
Banging New Year's Eve, that one was.
But to be fair, New Year's, considering like it was like a funeral and a wake, like they do say wakes can be really, really nice. It's what you make it. And I had a really lovely time at the wake. I met loads of like extended family and stuff that I haven't seen in a while. So it was really, really lovely. and it was a nice send off.
Also, the drinks were ridiculously cheap.
So cheap, yeah, really, really cheap. So that was great.
Yeah, we got tipsy quite quickly,
Very quickly,
which was really, really good. Now, the main thing that I wanted to, well, not the main thing, but the thing that I wanted to get onto at the moment actually is the Molly May situation.
Yeah, this came out in like good time, I guess, just before we started recording.
Luckily, it's the big thing.
I mean, I wouldn't say luckily. The poor girl's getting it in the fucking neck right now, but
we've just put it on our story, so we've not gotten many responses.
We always do this. We always like think of a fantastic idea to talk about something, and then we're like, oh shit, let's get the audience's like views, and then we post it like 10 minutes before recording, and like no one replies to it.
So instead of explaining the Molly May situation, I'm just going to play you the clip of what she said.
It has the same 24 hours in a day that we do. When I've spoken about that before in the past, I have been slammed a little bit with people saying, you know, like, it's easy for you to say that you've not grown up in poverty, you've not grown up, you know, with major money struggles. So for you to sit there and say that we all have the same 24 hours in a day, it's not correct. And I'm like, but technically what I'm saying is correct. We do.
So basically, she said there, you know, she's trying to, I guess she's trying to spread a sort of good working message of, you know, we only get the same 24 hours a day. So do what you want with those 24 hours and, you know, work hard. But everyone on the internet has blasted that, saying that we don't have the same 24 hours a day. You know, there's people working in sweatshops, there's people in poverty, there's people who are unemployed, there's homeless people. Like a homeless person is not going to have the same 24 hours a day as Elon Musk. Should we give our opinions first, or what other people have said first?
I mean, I was just going to go through what people have said, because like there's a big divide. Big divide. Like, some people are just like, what she's saying isn't wrong, it's just how she said it is quite insensitive, which I get. And then there's other people who've just like, because like, in that clip there, she said like, I've been slammed for saying this in the past, and then continue to say it, which is really dumb. And like, that's what somebody else said on
that's a good point.
One of the replies to Instagram is that. And I just like replied. I was just like, "Oh, what do you mean by this?" And then they like said, "Oh, well, listen to the audio again." She said that she was slammed for it in the past, and then continues to talk about it. And I was like, "Oh my god, you're right."
Okay.
And I think that's what other people are finding like really like, what the fuck? Like, why are you admitting that someone's had a problem with you saying that before, and then you decided to go and say it again?
Yeah. What are the other ones that people? There was a Maddie in Salesy just said, "I don't know what my thoughts are on the subject," which. I think
that's a good way to be.
Honest.
Yeah, like,
appreciate that.
Because obviously, again, with the whole divide, like, some people are making, either side is making good points.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like on the fence about it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and slam her, because I'm not being funny. That girl, she does get slammed a lot. She gets a lot of hate, and it must be really, really scary. So quickly to just say something and then everyone like turn against you.
I've got a point on that I want to make in a minute, but I just want to get to what did other people say.
So a guy called Max, he said, she's pretty much mirrors the opinions of late Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
I can see that. I know a lot of people our age aren't going to be informed on what Margaret Thatcher was like and her opinions and stuff, but from the small amount of stuff that I do know about Margaret Thatcher, I can see why someone would say that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get that. I mean, I don't actually know what happened with Margaret Thatcher, so I can't say I get that.
She's just a conservative, really.
Oh, right.
That's all you need to know. And a lot of people are saying that, like, oh, this is mad Tory energy. And I don't care. I to be honest, it just makes me cringe when people bring Tory and Labour into debates that don't really need it. And
what's also crazy as well about the whole situation, which doesn't sit right with me, is the fact that she said that, like, fine, that's her opinion, and like, so that if someone else said that, I just don't feel like they would have gotten slated as much. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think because she is a woman from Love Island, that is the reason she's getting
also,
the most
like,
of the hate.
in other people's eyes, all they see her posting is like her going on holiday. And I've seen loads of people make jokes like, oh, she just sits there and watches like Harry Potter all day and like goes to Starbucks. Obviously, like, that's what she's showing to the internet. So how can she sit there and be like, oh, I work really, really hard, and then not show that? Because obviously other people aren't going to understand that she does work hard. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
My thing here is I agree with the people that say that it was a dumb thing to say and that, you know, she didn't necessarily need to say it. But was she 23, 24?
She just needs to be educated a little bit more.
But the thing is, you say dumb shit every day. There's people that have been in job interviews. The people that are criticising this woman have been in a job interview, have been in a conversation at the pub, and they've said something dumb like this, and then they've gone home, thought about it, and been like, yeah, maybe that wasn't right.
She could have said far worse.
But I mean, the only thing contradicting that is she said, "I've got flack for this before," which means she thinks it's not a dumb opinion. She thinks it's absolutely correct.
I mean, standing by her opinion, like that
is good.
That's good. I guess.
The thing is, people are right in the fact that she's correct in the sort of mental health standpoint, in the fact that we do have the same 24 hours in a day. Like, scientifically, we all have the same 24 hours a day. She's not wrong.
She's got a maths degree.
So if you wake up and just think that, you might be able to have a better outlook throughout your day, but she's wrong in the fact that people's experiences aren't the same 24 hours a day. So a homeless person is not going to be having the same time as her, and so that is where it does get tone deaf.
But also, like, it's the fact that when she was on this podcast and she said that view, and then the person interviewing her on the podcast, he was just like, yeah, I agree. But he has got no slack for agreeing with her opinion at all.
That is what's ridiculous.
And it's like, what the hell?
His whole podcast should have been ridiculed as much as she is. Now, the point that I wanted to bring in, where this was the conversation, now this happened about 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, and the thing that I'm about to talk to now has only been appearing since about last night, and it got to the point where I ended up replying to a couple on Twitter because I don't think it's fair what they were saying.
I hate it when you do that.
Yeah, but no, this one I think you're like, okay, fair enough. So basically, people started comparing what's going on with her now to what caused Caroline Flack to commit suicide, where she was relentlessly trailed online, and people were basically saying the amount of ridicule she's getting is too much for the small thing that she did, and it's going to get to the point where something bad could happen, like what happened with Caroline Flack, and then you're all going to be like singing her praises. And people were calling her out saying, oh, you shouldn't dare compare this to Caroline Flack. But I'm sorry, but yes, you should, and I think you should, because yes, she was right to be criticised, but not to the extent that she is being now. And I'm sorry, but if the worst does happen, people will be comparing it to that. And I would rather compare it to it now before it's too late than compare it to it later after the worst thing that's has happened. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously when you're in the limelight, like, anything you say is so closely watched and so closely analysed.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you've seen that happen to so many celebrities. And what's a shame is, like, when it did happen to Caroline Flack, everyone was like, they were just like, oh, this is like a lesson, like, let's be kinder to people, and we can't like keep letting this happen. And it's just like people don't learn. Like, no. I know it might be different people, obviously, that are saying stuff to Molly May, that whatever, but I just think it's such a shame because I can't imagine a time when there is going to be people that aren't going to, like, do you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it was just empty platitudes, the whole thing. Caroline Flack, whether you want to compare the circumstances of her death to what's going on with Molly May, whether you want to make that comparison or not is irrelevant. The fact was, Caroline Flack died because of suicide, and everybody said, okay, from now on, we need to be more careful with people's mental health, and we need to not be so relentless online. And no one has learnt that.
No.
You should have rightly criticised Molly May and been like, yeah, that's shit. But after a day of the bollocking, it should have stopped. This is a news story that should not be lasting 3 days or more.
Do you know what else is crazy? Is the Elle Darby stuff. I've barely seen, like, that lasted like on my like Twitter
so
feed and stuff
worse.
That lasted like 2-3 days, and then she did like an apology video, and I haven't really actually seen anything else above it. Maybe that's just my like algorithm, I don't know, but that is so much worse in my opinion what's happened and what she did.
Absolutely.
In comparison to what Molly said. And now Molly's clearly getting more flack for that, and it's like overtaken the Elle Darby conversation, which I'm not saying that we need to focus on Elle Darby. I'm not saying we need to focus on any of them, because I don't like everyone makes fucking mistakes and no one deserves all this hate because it's horrible.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like, I just think people need to put things into perspective. And I know obviously that's horrible to say because of what Molly said, and she's clearly not putting something into perspective. But like, I don't know, it's a really tricky subject.
Is it Elle Darby or Elle Darby?
It's Elle Darby.
Elle Darby. She's probably loving it right now. She'll be like, oh, thank you so much, Molly. You've taken the heat right off me. But so basically the Elle Darby thing, if you guys didn't know, is that they found some tweets where she was being extremely racist,
homophobic, in 2011, when she was like the ages of like I think it's like 18 and 20.
Yeah.
So quite more ages, you know. I'm 20 now, and like when you have those views, and you know, you shouldn't share those types of views online.
No.
And she obviously decided to, and yeah, they've resurfaced. People have found them, and obviously there's a lot of people in those groups that are really, really upset about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're not even tone deaf jokes that you see some people that are sort of wrongfully been cancelled for. They're not like jokes that would have flown back then, so you know it's sort of wrong that they're being cancelled now. These are just legitimate racist sentences that she's just put on her Twitter. Like she didn't like, what was it, like Chinese people on a bus, and like there's too many Polish people in my like area or something.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't like to like reiterate what she said, because then that's just feeding the fire.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like they need to know the sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I get that. But like, I mean more when people are like posting the screenshots.
Oh right.
And I know why they're doing it. Obviously for the same reason, like they want to educate people, because if they start shitting on someone and we have no reason, like proof why, but also at the same time, you sharing it is like. Bringing it back up and like not promoting it, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's a weird one.
I think we should all just, because you've not listened to her apology video yet.
No.
I think we should all just have a listen to just a little bit of her apology video, because it is the most insincere, robotic sounding apology you will have heard in your life. And I will just get this up for us. Do you reckon she's put an ad in front of it? Oh no, she's not.
I've tried to film this video so many times, and every time it is not good enough, because there are no words to tell you how sorry I am. The tweets I made in 2011 were so disgusting and so far from the person I am today. They were racist, they were fatphobic, they were homophobic, there were enabling words in them. I am ashamed, I am disgusted in myself. There is not one person on this planet that hates me more than I do right now. And the pain I know I have caused to so many of you eats me up.
If I'm honest, right, like, pause it, because I can't, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm watching her eyes and it looks like she's reading a script.
It does.
And also, like,
it's like,
do you know what, no, like, the pauses, I think she's thinking this is dramatic effect. Yeah. But I do generally think the girl is in a state of shock.
When you look at her face, though,
I know
it doesn't look like she's doing it for dramatic effect. It looks like she's like, wait, what is that word? Right. There you go. Right.
Yeah,
now.
No, I know what you mean. But like, do you know what I mean? That I do think she's in a state of shock.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she's deliberately trying to be robotic and be like, I am sorry. I think she's just so like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's...
But for some reason...
I feel like I feel bad, though, because like obviously we're saying like don't give hate, and then we're sitting here fucking chatting about it.
Yeah, but we're not... Obviously we're having a piss and taking a laugh, but we're not being like horrible. Like we've for example, with the Molly May thing, we've been fairly on both sides during that issue.
Yeah.
And also, but Elle Darby is also... She's been extremely racist, so we can be a little bit more harsh with her. But anyway, white blonde women are getting dragged in the news, so watch out, T.
Yeah.
She's up next.
Oh my God, don't. I would.
No.
I don't even know. Like, oh.
No, you just like if you barely ever tweet, and if it is, it's about like Jaffa cakes or something.
I don't tweet. I try to be very, very careful when I'm on a podcast.
Yeah.
I like.
You do. You don't even like it when we get a little bit controversial.
Oh gosh, and it's funny because loads of people love it.
Yeah.
There are so many like people being like, oh, there's controversial stuff and everything. But I remember we had a review once that someone said like, oh, like I can't remember.
Bring back sassy tea.
No, not that.
Oh.
I mean, let me find it now because I want to chat about it because I remember how it made me feel in the moment when I read it.
Was it the one where it was like, I really like their controversial topics?
It was
one of our first reviews.
Oh, this one. It's so funny because of how offensive it is.
So I don't know who wrote that.
I don't know who wrote it, but when I read it, I was just like, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to offend anyone. So like I did, didn't I? I got really upset about it. I was like, James, like, do we stop? And he was just like, No, they literally said they love it. And I was just like,
yeah,
but they're saying that we're offending people. Like, I can't deal with that. Yeah, I'm just really like, I'm like a little scared, stressed.
Yeah, but don't be.
Person.
Don't be. We're going to be great. And we're going to get to our favourite films of 2021. And we're going to talk about some juicy
a nice,
James.
relaxed topic.
Mm-hmm.
But
all
that's
of that.
the thing. It could be a nice, relaxed topic, but someone will always find a way to hate it.
Yeah, I know. But
With
anyway,
that, let's go.
find out if you hate it right after this.
If you like how this podcast was edited, and you're also looking to bring your podcast to a professional standard, allow me to help. My name's Elliott Mckay. I'm a sound engineer and editor for podcasts. Get in touch with me via Insta at L_Mckay_ podcast editing for all your podcast needs, including intro music to any genre you'd like.
So we got a couple responses over the break in regards to the Molly May.
It's quite funny
situation.
because someone said like we're all out here like slating her, but the more like we're slating her, the more attention she's getting, the more money she's getting.
Yep.
So everyone, so someone said like, "Oh, we sure this wasn't like an act? Like she's been told to like not say that in the past." So she's like, "Oh, why didn't I say it? I'll get people talking about me."
Yeah, that's
which
quite
I mean
smart.
is a conspiracy theory, but I don't know. I don't think she would do that.
Yeah.
She doesn't really strike me as someone who can handle the heat of hate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know
Yeah.
who could handle the heat of hate, especially this much
The
intense.
The heat of hate.
The
That's
heat of
quite
hate.
good. That could be a section on
That
our
should be
show.
one. Yeah, the heat of hate.
The heat of hate.
Oh, I've just started something. Or maybe we should call the podcast the heat of hate.
The heat of hate. We're not taking away from our beautiful brand.
No, this podcast episode, you silly goose.
I see. Yeah,
See,
that's a
James
good
says
one.
silly things sometimes. He doesn't actually
Heat
think
of hate
about
is good.
what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough. But anyway, so it's you and me, we did, and we put it on our Instagram, we did our top movies of 2021 because we saw quite a few new movies. Most recently, we saw Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's a huge movie. It's past $1 billion, so almost everyone has seen it now.
Whoa,
And
that's mad.
how did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I haven't watched Andrew Garfield's one, and I hadn't watched Tobey Maguire's one, but I only recently watched Andrew Garfield one. Or was it the other way around?
You
I can't
watched
remember.
Tobey Maguire's first one with
yeah.
me, and you watched half of Andrew Garfield's second one, which is the worst.
So I never
one.
watched like the full films with them in and
Previous
stuff.
Spider-Man,
But like
yeah.
the experience itself when you're in there and like everyone, I don't know, like I wonder if like I'm guessing in like America and like other countries they will all clap when they came up.
Americans normally cheer and clap at like big
Yeah.
blockbuster movies,
Yeah.
but in
But
Britain it's normally silent. So I
it's-
was
oh my
so
God.
surprised
Everyone
when
was
everyone
clapping,
was clapping and cheering.
cheering.
Yeah.
Several different points as well, like especially when spoiler by the way,
Yeah.
if you haven't watched it yet, what you doing, but especially when Andrew Garfield catches Zendaya.
Yeah.
And like, obviously I did know about that because I hadn't watched it, but James did kind of give me a debrief.
Yeah.
And from the trailer, you kind of thought that was going to happen anyway because you see her falling.
There was theories that
There was
she would-
theories that he was going to catch her, and he did,
Yeah.
and everyone was cheering, and it was so wholesome. It was so
it was
nice.
beautiful because he failed to catch Emma Stone.
Yeah, and
she
like he got
died.
so emotional when he got down the floor, and she was like, "You right, bro? Like,
And
what's
he's
going
like,
on?"
I did it finally.
Oh.
Also, one thing that I noticed the second time I viewed it is that not only did he catch Zendaya, he learned from the last time, because in the movie where Emma Stone dies, he shoots his web and the web catches her and it breaks her back. And in this new one, he forgets his webs and he just dives and catches her with his arms.
Oh wow!
Which I think is a nice little thing.
They do a lot of those. I've seen them on TikToks actually. I've seen a lot of like MUC developments. So like there was ones about
MCU.
Sorry, what's MUC?
I don't know.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm clearly a fake fan. Anyway, seen comparisons to like when something went wrong and then how they like developed it. So there was one about like Tony Stark when he got cold and then he put a heated suit inside Tom Holland's.
Tony Stark's little details are
Yeah,
great.
they're really cool. I love it. Like Tony Stark was my favourite character. I generally bawled my fucking eyes out for weeks when he died.
Yeah, he did.
Oh
didn't he?
my God, I just couldn't get over that.
You were like, I'm never watching these again.
But also, like the ending of the Spider-Man, like people aren't talking about it enough. Like that was a tearjerker.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
That was awful. Like, oh my God, could you imagine being in that situation where nobody knows you and like he's lost his mum, his dad, he lost his auntie, like he's lost Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, and now he's lost his girlfriend. Like, Jesus.
And also, like, the film is not...
And best friend.
Yeah, and best friend. The film is not overrated. Like, it is really good, and it's a really good blockbuster
Even if, like, you're not a Spider-Man fan, I just feel like, go and watch it.
It's fun.
Like, it's the whole experience.
So
also,
fun.
every time I hear someone say Spider-Man, do you know what I imagine now?
What?
The way Tom Holland says it, he goes, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
He does every time. Like, you won't unhear it now. Like, every time. Like, in interviews, he goes, so when I was playing Spider-Man...
People are mad for Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Oh, they love it, don't they? They loved it when Tobey Maguire and... What was her name?
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst got together. They love it when Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone got together. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's the spider bite." Haha.
I'm gonna say now. Toby has the best Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 2, but Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, they have the best chemistry as a couple.
To be fair, clips that I've seen, yeah.
And I think Tom and Zendaya are just the best in real life.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Tom Holland is the fittest, hands down.
Yeah,
he is
fit.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, he's pretty fit.
Oh my God, sorry.
He's pretty fit. He's all right.
Fucking beautiful.
Another film that we really, really liked that we managed to see an advanced screening of was Don't Look Up.
Oh yeah, that
was a
sick.
cool film. I put that as my top of the year. I really liked the message, and also that new and more current news. It is now the most watched movie in Netflix history. It's their most watched film.
Wow.
Ever.
To be fair, sick cast as well. Like everyone that was like a main character was like really famous and well known.
Yeah, and also not only that, the last film to get the most watched in history was Red Notice, and it took 28 days. This one took 4 days.
Whoa.
To become the most watched.
That's crazy. I don't think you can beat that.
Yeah.
4 days.
And it's the most watched on Netflix.
Oh my God.
And it's a good film, and it really, the ending of the film really gave me a little lump in my throat, and it really made me think that the government doesn't have our best interests at heart, and we do need to think about that when we're looking at stuff like COVID and climate change.
Also, Leo DiCaprio never lets you down. He always picks fantastic roles.
His speech when he's on the TV on that TV show towards the end, and he's just screaming at people.
Also, like you said to me, which I didn't realise, I feel like we keep talking over each other, but Leo and Jennifer Lawrence, they swapped like their characters
halfway through. Yeah,
like that was really cool.
Basically, if no one's seen the film, like Leonardo starts as someone that's really nervous. He can't be on TV. He's so shy, and Jennifer Lawrence is so confident in the evidence she's got and bringing it forward. But because of as the story progresses, Jennifer Lawrence recedes and she becomes shy, and
because of the hate that she was getting,
moves away from the limelight, and Leonardo DiCaprio becomes more confident and desperate, and really
shouting.
And it's to the point where he's shouting on the screen at the end of the film. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And
but he was a naughty boy in it.
It's quite funny at times.
That was a little like side story.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe
he
that.
Did a bit
that was
cheating. Yeah.
I felt really bad.
I did too, but bloody good. So good. Ariana Grande was funny in it. Yeah. Yeah. Really great.
She literally had like one line, and I was just.
She was in a couple of scenes, and she did that song.
Well, yeah, she had a song, but I feel like she only had like 1 or 2 lines.
Yeah, but she still good. And Timothy Chalamet, who seems to be in every film under the sun, was good in it.
He's so funny.
And
his apparently the line when he says, "I fucking love fingerling potatoes."
Oh yeah,
that was improv. Apparently,
I love that.
Which
bit.
is so funny because
That's
if you
great.
look at Jennifer Lawrence's and Leonardo DiCaprio's face when he says it, like they don't act like surprised at all, even though it was improv. They just kind of carry on and make a comment back and move on with it. And I just think that's crazy. Like obviously he must act like that all the time if they weren't even surprised.
Yeah. When I watched the trailer for the film, I thought he was going to be like a one scene cameo.
No, he was in it quite
the rest
a lot.
of the film, and he's really good. And it's what surprised you about his character is he turns out to be Christian and quite faithful, yet he's a bit of a delinquent.
And like also like there was he was saying like even though like he was a bit of like a cool like with the Skater Boys kind of dude, he was saying a lot of like relatable stuff. Like when he was like when he's like, "Oh, do you want to make out?" and then she was like, "If you want," and he was like, "Oh, don't say that. It makes me feel shit. It makes me feel like you don't want to." Like, it was just so funny because you just wouldn't expect it from that character.
But yeah, I suggest people watch that. But I mean, the two films we talked about, everyone seems to be watching anyway.
Yeah,
there you go.
We had a couple of votes actually. We put 4 on our story, and it's like, in your opinion, what was your like favourite movie of 2021? Even though we only gave them 4 options.
The 4 films?
The 4 options was Don't Look Up, Spider-Man, and Shang-Chi, and No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Most votes was Spider-Man, but not far behind was Don't Look Up, to be fair.
Oh, nice.
But Shang-Chi got no attention at all. No one voted for Shang-Chi.
I think Shang-Chi was so much earlier in the year. It was like March.
Yeah. So they had time to get better ones.
Yeah. And also people loved Dune as well, didn't they? Even though
we didn't even put that.
Dune.
To be fair, we probably should have like done a question box to be like, in your opinion, write what your favourite movie was. But
you guys know what our thoughts are on Dune if you saw the season finale of the last season of Court Case. But I want to move on to Courting with James now.
Yep.
So we're going to play the jingle.
And get right to it.
Okay, I read a couple, but I thought it would be best not to really read them all so that both of you and me could be surprised by
Organic
the stories.
reactions.
Organic reactions. So, this is from the account We Shouldn't Do This Again, and they provided these stories from us, from real people, real confessionals, and we're going to discuss them, and we're going to come to agreements and verdicts.
I'm so interested to see what these confessions are.
So the first one here, we've got some confessionals. So the first one was, I was set up with this guy in college and we went back to my house. I was very inexperienced and nervous. So to avoid going into my bedroom, I took him on a tour of every other room in the house, including our creepy basement, where I gave a demo of our circuit breaker.
Oh, no.
So you're so scared for sex. You'll be like, this is how the electrics work in our house, if you didn't know that before.
Oh, no. I bet he was thinking, what the hell? That's so awkward, bless you. But to be fair, like, we've all been there, haven't we? Like, not like I've not shown someone my creepy basement and said, "Oh,
super nervous,"
but being super nervous and like spoken about something that's really random.
Yeah, I think they've done these in order of they get juicier as you go along.
Oh wow, okay, love that.
And she separated it into things. So she's got one's confessionals here, and then failed relationships.
Oh, okay.
And then we've got longer stories, like too much stories. And then we got there's an emoji there.
So maybe we'll do the confessions in this episode, and then like later episodes we can do other ones.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so the next confessional we got 3 confessionals.
Perfect.
So that was the first one. And this one we got, I was just starting to dip my toe in the dating apps after being super hesitant for a long time. Mostly I didn't know what intro lines to use because I feel like they're always so corny. They are, aren't they? After going back and forth with my friend for a while about what line I should use, I finally just settled on the oh-so-clever, hey, guy's name. Happy Friday. Any good plans this weekend? I know. Really fun and original.
Oh.
But to be fair, it's better than just going, hey.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't talk. I've never been on a dating app.
Yeah, good point. He responded in a really nice way, and I started feeling okay about how these apps might go for me. Also, I just want to say here that it's really good that she's up for starting the conversations. Because normally you get women that will swipe and they'll be like, nah, he needs to say the first message.
Yeah.
So it's nice that she's thinking of openers to say. That's good. Well, I went out with a few friends and had a couple of drinks and started to wonder why he wasn't responding. Since that opening line was clearly unbeatable, and not to mention complex, I decided I'd try it out on someone else.
Oh.
In my tipsy state, I went to my conversation with him to copy the message, then thought I went to a new match and pasted it with the new guy's name.
Oh, I was going to say, change the guy's name. Oh my God, I was so worried then.
I never went to the new match and just ended up sending the same Happy Friday message to the same guy. But with
a different name,
a new guy's name.
Oh my God!
The best part about it was now Saturday night at this point, not Friday. Thought maybe he'd handled it well since everyone on the app is talking to a ton of people at once, but no, didn't get a response after that. Can't blame him.
Oh my gosh!
Different guy's name,
it's not
different
that
day.
bad. It's just funny. It's just funny, and like obviously in the moment you'll probably cringe a little bit. You're like, shit. But realistically, you're not going to see him again. Like it's not too big of a deal. But they say that, like, could you imagine? A few years' time, they meet each other, and then like you hear that and then when they do like story times, like, oh, how did you guys meet? Oh, she sent me a message with another guy's name and a different day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a funny story.
Yeah, I get what you mean there, but I also don't blame him for being like, what's she doing? Because it doesn't make you look great. So the last confessional here, and then I have got another few relationship stories that have been sent to me, but not from this account.
Cool.
So went on a great first date. We talked over drinks and it was going really well, and decided to take a walk afterwards.
A walk afterwards?
Jesus Christ. Decided to take a walk afterwards. A few minutes into the walk, I realised I had drank too much water in between drinks at the first bar and really needed to use the bathroom. We were talking through a park.
That's never good.
No, this
when
isn't
it
a
starts
good
off
start.
like that, it's
Yeah.
never good.
We were walking through a park and I didn't want to gross her out by saying I was going to pee in the bushes, and then remembered there was a Walgreens a few blocks away. It was pretty late, so when we got there, it was closed. There was a restaurant across the street, but at this point I was at the edge, and the second the walk sign flashed, I started to pee myself.
Oh my god!
I was shocked. I was shocked because I'm an adult and didn't expect this to happen, but walked behind her so she couldn't see. I ran into the restaurant bathroom and it was clearly obvious what had just happened.
Oh, bless him.
I thought about breaking the sink to splash water over myself, but decided to just suck it up. I walked outside quickly and slid into the seat across from her at the table. The date continued to go well, but I wasn't sure how I would say goodbye. Then I realised I could drive her back to her car. It was dark outside, so she wouldn't be able to see my pants, and the console in the car would block her view too. She didn't notice, and we dated for a while after that.
Ah.
I actually told her what happened on date 7, and she didn't believe me.
Wow, okay. That was a success.
He's finessed that beautifully. Yeah. He's.
Do you know what, though? Like, I just had a second then. I was thinking about it, and I was like, if that happened to me and I noticed, I don't know how I would react. Like, if if I was like on a date and I saw that he like wet himself, like, it's one of those things, like, do you address it or do you not? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Bless. I'm glad I don't know if it worked out like they're boyfriend and girlfriend, but like, I'm glad that they managed to have a couple of dates.
I think so. Well, it said date 7, so they must have dated
Surely,
for quite a while after that.
Yeah. Whoa, that's funny. I like those.
That is good.
They're quite mild in comparison to what we normally talk about.
Yeah, they are. Nice, mild, wholesome ones.
So now we're going on to the 18+ section.
Yeah, here we go, guys. Here we fucking go. I've got some good ones here. Okay, so this is one that I have been sent by someone, and a lucky listener, so thank you for bringing this to my attention. Dan from Vancouver. So, am I the arsehole for telling my new co-worker it was misleading of him to be wearing his wedding band when he's a widower?
Oh.
Yeah, so here is the crux of the story. Hi! Couple of weeks ago...
I love how they started with pie. That's nice.
Couple of weeks ago, we had a new employee hired at the company. He's a good guy and a widower named James. Good strong name, that.
I like that.
He's 36, and to my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago, so quite fresh.
Very recent.
Yeah, so me, 32, and the other co-workers got along well with him. However, I noticed that he is still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kind of confused me a bit, and I couldn't help but bring it up with him while on lunch break. Of course you did.
Oh, why?
We talked...
Why? I feel so uncomfortable already.
I know.
Oh.
We talked, and I pointed out that he was being misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widow.
How the fuck do you say that? And you're like, okay with saying that?
And also at the workworkplace, you're like, oh, you're being misleading at the workplace.
Also, at the time, if you knew it was only 8 months ago, like, bloody hell. Like he's not going to be ready to date anyone anytime soon anyway, so what does it matter?
Obviously, we met at a workplace, so romance can begin at a workplace, but it's not where you're going intentionally to go, the reason I go to work is because of all the fit singles. You go there to do your work, and you're lucky if that sort of thing enters your life.
Yeah, and exactly. I feel like, obviously, if this guy was ready to date, he wouldn't have the wedding ring on his finger.
Yeah, exactly. If you know he's a widower and he's still
that's
got
what
the
I
wedding
would think
band
straight
on,
away.
you go, okay, he's not ready to date yet.
That's what I'd think straight away. I wouldn't even question him. I would just be like, oh, okay, like, I know his wife's died. He's wearing the wedding ring. That's respect. Like, he's not ready to move on.
Yeah.
That's what I would think. Not go, Mate, she's fucking dead. Take it off.
We've not even finished the story
Sorry,
yet.
I know.
We're dragging this woman through the coals. I love it. We talked, and I pointed out that he was being misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widower. He looked quite bothered by what I said.
Obviously.
But I tried to explain that I think that he was giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status, since he's technically single and on his own right now.
What does it matter?
Don't want to say, she's put in brackets, don't want to sound cruel, but I'm speaking from a technical angle.
Oh.
Okay, well, why do you need to get technical? Why? James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning he don't care what people think, and that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some woman approached him, he'd still turn them down since he's obviously not interested.
Yeah.
Fair enough. For some reason, things got awkward. For some reason.
Is she actually that, like, not clever?
And everyone, I
That's what I
know,
say.
and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and me. I told him I don't know, but that really felt genuinely misleading of him, as in making people think he is in a relationship, married, when he is not, regardless of how I felt about being in a relationship. He got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory with what I said. Then he took his stuff and walked away. My co-worker said regardless of who was right or wrong, though some said he overreacted, there was no reason for me to bring this up in the first place and cause a scene and make James upset with us like that now. He's not speaking to me and others who sided with me. Am I the arsehole? Did I overstep or did he overreact?
Right.
So I think she fancies him.
I was about to say that, you know.
Yeah.
Because why would she be so offended he is wearing a wedding ring otherwise?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. And also, it's hard for us to say that he overreacted when we weren't there.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
she could easily twist it. And to be fair, him getting up and walking away from a comment that somebody's made is not overreacting.
Yeah.
If you're uncomfortable, leave.
I'm sorry, but if your wife's been dead 8 months and someone's having this conversation with me, I can't imagine what reaction would constitute overreacting. I mean, maybe if you slapped her in the face.
Oh, obviously.
I think that might be an overreaction.
But, like, getting up and walking away when you're uncomfortable, that's absolutely fine. And that isn't overreacting at all.
Yep. Someone, the top comment on this, someone said, "You are the arsehole. A wedding ring isn't a sign to others you aren't available. It's a commitment to a person you love.
Very true.
His wife might be dead, but he's not ready to move on. Then he's still committed to her. Your confusion about this status isn't his concern."
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's none of her business at the end of the day.
Yep.
Imagine, like, I'm imagining that she probably hasn't even, you know, she might have done. She might have, like, apologised for his loss, but, like, from the sounds of it, it just feels like she's kind of just gone, right, you're back at work. Why's the ring on?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Let's get down to brass tacks.
You work here, take it off.
It's not like a uniform policy. Someone put,
only wear one if you're married.
Yeah.
Like, he's still married. Like, well, not married, like, but I don't know.
"You're the arsehole. I couldn't help but bring it up." Yes, you could. Just stop talking. Help it next time. And someone replied with, "Thank you. I hate this shit. My opinion is so important, and my dad says the sun shines out of my arse, so let me bother you with my ignorance."
Oh my god.
It's so true. I want to see if anyone else thinks that she
isn't.
fancies him.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if she replied to 3 comments, and oh my god, one of her comments has gotten minus 8.3 thousand downvotes.
Whoa.
Yeah. The only one the wrong here is "You're the arsehole. You have no right to tell someone how to represent themselves or grieve after losing their partner. You called them out on a technicality instead of being a compassionate person.
Mm-hmm.
The only one wrong here is you." And she replied with, "You're right, I don't. However, I wasn't telling him how to represent himself, but rather pointed out how I felt about the band. Nothing malicious, and I said this with enough compassion, not just spout it out to him in an insensitive way to just give you more context." What does how she feels about his wedding band matter at all in the workplace?
How fucking dare you wear that?
I know, yeah.
Like,
It's like, do you not understand how that wedding band makes me feel, widow?
yeah.
Hmm?
I'm extremely uncomfortable that you are wearing that.
She's such a bitch. I'm sorry, she's a bitch.
Yeah, I don't rate her for that. I'm sorry.
No.
Like, I don't know why it was anything to do with her. I really don't.
You've hit the nail on the head there, sweet tea. It was not anything to do with her, and that is our verdict.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was actually, in Courting with James Gray, you have got a story
yes.
that you found
Oh
from
my God.
Instagram, and
It's
this
funny.
and it is amazing, and it's going to end the episode pretty damn well, I think.
I
Anyway.
agree. So, a woman who married herself is now divorcing herself after meeting someone new.
Who's the new person? Her reflection?
No idea. Maybe. I mean, that wouldn't work because she's already married herself, love. But sure. A woman who has made headlines earlier this week by marrying herself is now heading for divorce after confessing she's met somebody else.
Oh, no.
I'm really sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
It's Chris Galera, it looks like.
Okay. Chris Galera grew tired of relying on men, so decided to marry herself in a formal ceremony, which was held in September of this year. The 33-year-old model insisted she wasn't disappointed not to have a groom and instead was embracing going down alone. Yeah. But it wasn't meant to be, and 90 days later, she decided to divorce herself.
Fortunately for Chris, who hails from Sao Paulo in Brazil.
She has since met someone else and has even started to fall in love despite vowing to go solo. I was happy while it lasted, she said, adding, I started to believe in love the moment I met somebody special. I mean, I'm happy for her, but also I didn't think it was possible to marry yourself. Why would you want to marry yourself? She was 33, like she had time to meet somebody.
I just hope that Chris didn't cheat on Chris before she met this guy. I hope
she cheated on herself.
I hope that she divorced herself
him.
Yeah. Before going
divorce
down this
herself,
road.
yeah.
Because
no, I agree.
I'm not for adultery.
She's extremely attractive as well, can I just add?
That's her?
Yeah.
She's definitely had a boob job.
Okay. Again, what's that got to do with you?
Nothing. I was just pointing it out.
Of course, men point out the boobs.
But yeah, no, she is fairly attractive.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I mean,
do you reckon there was a ceremony with her family, like all involved, and a reception, or do you reckon it was just at a registrar's office? Surely that's money that you just don't need to spend. Why didn't she just stay single?
The top comment is she had a real power moment and then she gave up.
Yeah. Well, if you are someone that has married yourself, then please contact the show and
I honestly didn't think that was possible, and I don't know why, because obviously she said she was only with him for with herself. Sorry, I keep saying him with herself for 9 months. So if she just waited that 9 months, she would have found that person and not even had to divorce herself. Also, did she have to pay? So she's paid for a wedding and a divorce within 9 months or whatever it was, when now she's probably going to do it again with an actual person.
Poor Chris.
It's crazy.
Poor Chris. She could have had a baby with Chris in that 9 months before Chris divorced Chris. It's not fair, is it?
I'm getting Sue Christ out.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this first welcome back episode to the Court Case podcast, and stay tuned for a lot more. We're probably going to be releasing one episode every 2 weeks, most likely at the moment.
Yeah.
And we hope that you enjoy those. We hope you stick around. And if you've got any stories that you want us to talk about, you want us to be sassy, debate, give our verdict on, please contact us at Court Case Podcast on Instagram or email us courtcasepodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks so much, guys. Happy New Year, and we will
see
you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.